The topic today is family dysfunctionality and its impact on children. Yes, family dysfunctionality and its impact on children. How does it affect the children? What are the ways it affects the children? How can we correct it? How do we nurture children to have sound minds and have healthy upbringing? These are what we are going to be discussing about today, and also to learn about other parenting tips to be able to nurture a sound mind child and an adult that will be able to be useful to the economy in the nearest future. My name is Ololade James. I'm your Be Conscious Parental Coach that deals with nurturing young minds. I deal with your nurturing young minds because I have passion for it, and I also know the impact it has on the environment if children are not being well taken care of, because they are absolutely the ones that will become that adult that we have always met in the boss that steps on your toes and can't even say the sorry word. They're the set of adults that turn to narcissists that we meet in the environment or in the society nowadays. So how do we tend to nurture our children to be in their right senses and be of good characters and good behaviors when they get to adulthood? These are what we are going to be discussing about today, and I believe you're going to learn a whole lot. So my name still remains Ololade James. Stay with me and let's go for it. Thank you. Yeah, so don't mind my outlook and every other thing. I just wake up today and have that nudge to put out the video outside, because owing to the overall things that is going on social media, you see people coming to impact or coming to say what they're not supposed to say online. People have a lot of ideas on other people's discussion that are to come and create videos and also create awareness about dysfunctionality in families, because I see not almost everyone actually or usually talk about it. So it's one of those topics that people want to go, they don't want to concentrate on, and if we don't discuss about it, that means we are not ready. So when you meet an adult that misbehaves, an adult that does what he or she is not supposed to do, or say wrongful words to each other, then you know it's a family. The foundation, which is a family. So what is family? Family is the soil in which every child is planted. If the soil is enriched with love and consistency and guidance, the child flourishes. But if the soil is poisoned with neglect, chaos, and conflict, the child struggles to grow. They struggle to grow. And we all know family is that only institution that have that connection, that bond. Like they say, blood is thicker than water. Is it the only institution that combine everything together by blood and that cordial relationship that is not in every other relationship that we are going to talk about. Family is the beginning and is the onset of every other relationship. So like I said, it is a soil which is enriched with love, consistency, guidance, and if you enrich it with love and consistency, the child flourishes. Why if the soil is poisoned with neglect, chaos, and conflict, the child struggles to grow. They struggle to grow. So the home is not just forward. It is the emotional climate emotional climate that shape the children's destiny. It is the emotional climate that shapes the children's destiny. So dysfunction in family is like crack in the foundation of a house. Yes, a crack in the foundation of a building is definitely going to have effect on that building, no matter how beautiful it's going to be at the long run when building it. So once there is a crack from the foundation, destiny. Dysfunction in family is like crack in the foundation of the house, invisible at first, but eventually the whole structure is at risk. That's why I say we need to nurture them from the very beginning and put them on the right spot on how to go about things of life. If the ladder is not leaning against the right wall, every step they climber takes, just takes them to the wrong place. So parents, if the foundation is wrong, no matter how much effort we put into the top, it won't stand. It won't stand. We must begin at the root, which is the home, and which is our own duty as a parent. Now let's talk about the silent victims, the children. Yeah, I call them the silent victim because they are actually the ones that don't know what to say. They don't know their right from their wrong yet. So the children don't just watch what happens in the home. They absorb it. Every fight, every cold silence, every harsh words become part of their inner voice. A child growing up in dysfunctional family learns to survive, but not necessarily to thrive. Some of them becomes anxious. They become withdrawn and shut down. Some put on marks of toughness as if they are tough, meanwhile they are not. And others become anxious and people pleasers. Children are like wet cement. We should know that, parents. Whatever falls on them make an everlasting impact. So we need to take note of whatever it is they are going through at the very moment, and how the environment they are being groomed is teaching them, how they are absorbing it. So parents, like I was saying, so when dysfunction becomes the daily norms, we are not just shaping the children for today, but setting the stage for their entire lives. Children are not only shaped by what they experience, but also by what they do not experience. They are not only shaped by what they experience, yes, also by what experience you did not give them. A child growing up in dysfunction often feels unseen and unheard. They struggle with emotional regulation, and may carry invisible wounds into their adulthood, wounds that you will not be able to know that is happening to them. The homes that should be their safe place now becomes a battlefield in their present, or in their eyes they believe is a battle. They are still very young. So trust and love are always the casualty in this battlefield I mentioned just now. Sibling separations. Now let's talk about sibling separation. One of the greatest casualties of dysfunctionality in family is sibling separation. When love is absent in the home, brothers and sisters stop seeing each other as allies. They start seeing each other as competitions or competitors. They compete for attention, they compete for love, they compete for validation, and instead of building a bond of unity, they grow apart and rivalry kicks in. When the roots are deep in parents, there is no reason to fear the winds. But when the dysfunction eats at the roots, siblings are left scattered, disconnected, and estranged in adulthood. You wonder why some children are strangers to each other. These are reasons why it happens. Children who should be allies in journey of life grow into strangers because the environment they were raised in is faulty. It is not always the children's fault, but because of the environment by which they grow in. You know the adage that says when the elephant fights, it is the grass that suffers it. The conflict between each parent or caregivers spill all over, leaving children divided and the relationship scattered. So this is where parents have to come in. This is where parents have to work. Let parents remember that it is not only how we treat our children individually, it is by how we nurture their love for each other, how we grow them in togetherness and in unity. That's what we groom that aspect of their love for one another, and would be able to avoid that separation or sibling separation or sibling rivalry. Sibling rivalry is another topic on its own, which will be handled one of these days when I have that strength, or when I gathered so much information on how to pull it through, because it's one topic that most people are avoiding, and it's actually eating deep into families. Sibling rivalries. Now, the birth of narcissism. Narcissists are also known as narcissism. The process by which a narcissist acts in the way of their actions is called narcissism. So, Do you know that narcissists are once children and they are created in the homes? A child who grows up feeling unseen, unloved, or loved conditionally begins to construct a false self. They construct a false self, and they now what? They learn to that to be accepted, they must perform, they must manipulate, and they also have to control. Note, narcissism is not about love for self, but the absence of it. They do not know how to love themselves. When children don't receive unconditional love, they may grow into adults who desperately crave admiration, adults who struggles with empathy, and who repeat cycles of emotional neglect. So dysfunction in parental care plants these seeds of narcissism. They learn to survive. They learn strategies to survive, these survival strategies like shutting down emotionally and creating a false image of themselves. And sometimes this pain manifests as narcissistic traits. So you see them behaving like a narcissist, like the way normal narcissists behave. So a child who was denied healthy love may grow into adults who seek control, admiration, and superiority. And these are signs of narcissists. Because deep inside, they are still fighting to be seen and worthy. Like I said earlier, narcissism is not about love to self. It is a desperate attempt to fill a void where love should be. Most narcissists don't even believe they need therapy or help. They believe they are doing the right thing. What are the future causes of this dysfunctionality in a family? A dysfunctional family does not just affect today, it mortgages tomorrow. The insecure child you are seeing today becomes the insecure adult of tomorrow. The angry child will become the resentful partner. The neglected child becomes the neglected parent. So you see, the side effect of all these traits, of all parental care, has a long effect. It is easier to build a strong children than to repair a broken adult. Parents, ask yourself every day, are we raising the leaders of tomorrow or the wounded souls of tomorrow? The choice is ours. The choice is always in our hands to choose. It is our duty as parents to be able to groom children in a healthy way and to make sure they are feeling seen and feel loved unconditionally. When I say unconditional love and conditional love, I mean unconditional loves are love that you don't have to place it on a target. Like, if you do this, I will love you. If you don't do this, I will not like you again. Those are unconditional love. The moment you start putting a target to show them love, to get them seen or heard, then that means it is a conditional love. And that means narcissistic traits will always come up in their characters, because they take note. We need to be conversant. We need to be conscious. We need to be intentional about our parenting skills, because you are not just grooming an individual, you are grooming a whole world. Another sign of dysfunctionality or dysfunction is emotional unavailability. Emotional unavailability. When children cannot turn to their parents for safety, comfort, and guidance, they turn inwards or outwards to an unhealthy source. This is where children are being given bad advice and taught how to do bad things, peer pressures, teenage advices, things that are uncalled for. Children should see their own and parents as the first person to talk to about any situation they find themselves. If the case is otherwise, the family is at fault. Yes, the family is at fault. The family is dysfunction. So they need to work on that. If any child cannot come to their parents for advice or talk to them about what they are going through, it's not a good one. An emotionally unavailable home creates emotionally distant children. They grow up with walls around their hearts. The greatest hunger of a child is not the food for love. It's not the food, but for love and acceptance. We must ask ourselves, are we feeding our children's stomach or starving their souls? We should ask ourselves this question. Then, how how then do we correct dysfunctionality from the onset? We have been talking about the disadvantage. Now, how do we correct them? The good news is dysfunctionality does not have to define a family's history or be your family's destiny. It can be avoided, it can be corrected before it's too late. We can break this cycle, we can heal wounds, we can rewrite stories. It starts with us being conscious. You have to be conscious that, okay, this thing that is going on has to stop with me. Having healthy communication, learn to talk with love, correct with love, not in anger. Learn to listen to your children before you respond. Teach them that their voice matters. The most basic need of a human is need to understand and to be understood. That's number one now. Communication now. Teach them that they need to be how to be heard, how they can be seen and be to know that their voice matters. Now, conflict resolution. Model forgiveness in the home as parents, not revenge. Always forgive your partners, always forgive them as a child too. Then unconditional love. Let your children know that they are loved for who they are, not for what they do. Forgive their errors without referring to it after it is gone. Some parents refer to it. Afterwards, adults also make mistakes. Let them know that they don't have to earn your love. It is their birthright. To love a person is to see their magic and remind them of it when they have forgotten. Sometimes children can be like, mommy, you don't love me. I love you. This is why I love you, and I've always loved you. This is what I even love most about you. Now, awareness of pattern. If your parent did wrong to you, you don't have to repeat it. Choose differently. Awareness is the first step to changing pattern before healing proceeds. Now, healing doesn't begin with the children. It begins with you, the parent. It begins with you, the parent, who dares to be conscious. And being conscious means you have to be conscious of your parenting skills. You have to be conscious that you are finally healed within yourself. You are healed and you are not transferring aggression. You are not transferring the pain that you have held from your own family cycle or family dysfunctionality into the life of such child. So you'll be conscious, and you'll be able to differentiate between the good ones, the good attitude, to the bad ones, like shutting them up or not letting them speak their mind or not listening to them. So these are few signs that you would know that you're changing pattern and breaking those family dysfunctionalities.